Hi everyone, my name is Shiva Alero, and today for my individual project I'll be talking about Tarasoff. So just a little background on Tarasoff. Tarasoff is actually a woman's last name. I'll be talking about briefly talking about Tatiana Tarasoff and her boyfriend Pransjit Podar. So I'll just be calling them Tarasoff and Podar. So back in 1974, Mr. Podar had came forward to his psychologist at UC Berkeley, stating his thoughts on possibly murdering or killing his girlfriend Tatiana Tarasoff. The psychologist was very worried about his allegations or with the comments that he was making towards Ms. Tarasoff, so he took it upon himself and reported it to the police. And so when it was down to the police's work, so the police invited Mr. Porter to their offices and they interviewed him about his allegations or his words. And Mr. Porter did admit that he wanted to kill Tatiana, but the police had decided to release him based on just telling him about just staying away from her, to not make any contact with her, and which Mr. Porter had agreed to. So fast forward to 2 months, he came about his word and he did not contact Ms. Tarasoff. However, when she returned from her 2 month stay in Brazil, he fatally stabbed her at her parents' home, like in the front of her parents' home. And so her parents had sued. Basically, her parents initiated a lawsuit against Dr. Moore, the police, and the Board of Regents of the university. Although the Tarasoff claim was dismissed twice in the lower courts, when it went to the Supreme Court of California, it concluded that Dr. Moore had a duty to warn Ms. Tarasoff or her parents of the threat. The court stated that confidentiality must yield to the duty to prevent danger to others when that danger is foreseeable. This frequently referenced case gave us rise to the now well-known maximum expressed by the judge at the time: the protective privilege ends when the public peril begins. So I thought the Tarasoff case was interesting because, at the start of this counseling program, 3 things that they sort of engraved in our minds as students and future counselors: we have a duty to report if an individual is being harmed, or if an individual is being harmed, if that individual is being harmed, and if that individual is being abused, then we have the right to report them to the proper channels, so that they don't get harmed, or those people so that the people outside of the party don't get harmed, and they don't continue to get harmed, of course. So the Tarasoff case had actually brought to light many things in the mental health field. So the Tarasoff case imposed a liability on all mental health professionals to protect a victim from violent acts. The first Tarasoff case imposed a duty to warn the victim, whereas the second Tarasoff case implies a duty to protect. There are many concerns about the implications of the Tarasoff case, especially around confidentiality and the client-social work relationship and violent clients avoiding treatment. The environment has changed, and confidentiality now divulge confidential information to third-party payers. Tarasoff is an important decision with legal implications, and only 13 states in the U.S. lack Tarasoff-like provisions at the time of Herbert's report in 2002 intended victims against danger. This may entail a warning, police notification, or other necessary steps. Duty to warn and duty to protect have implications for social work practitioners in the field of mental health, HIV/AIDS, domestic violence, and medical social work. There are also serious implications for malpractice and unethical behavior. What began as a mental health issue has been expanded to other fields of social work practice.